The U.S. gets the job done. What's up, everyone? It's Scott here at Beaty's Beat, popping on to share my thoughts in the Iran versus U.S. match, concluding the activity in Group B, and the U.S. are moving on. It got very hairy there at the end, but these boys showed that despite their youth, that they can handle the pressure at this level. The bad news is that we've scored 2 goals in 3 matches, but we have controlled every match we've played in, and that's not nothing. In this World Cup, we've seen good teams look bad and mediocre teams look good. So the fact that the US has brought a level of consistency is something to recognize. I thought Tyler Adams showed today why he was selected as captain, as well as in the last few days his press conference acumen. He handled some really difficult questions. I'm sure you guys saw or heard of the probing questions from the Iranian journalist, and he handled himself really well. Back to on the pitch, McKinney put in another strong display before he had to get substituted. He is a real workhorse. And he's played really well so far this World Cup. He just hasn't been able to last the 90 minutes. I don't know if that's because he's coming back from injury or he just leaves it all on the field and Berhalter wants to get some fresh legs in. The one maid we changed from the start is bringing Carter Vickers, who I think equipped himself pretty well. He was on in place of Zimmerman, who did seem to be the weak spot in our team so far this World Cup. He was the one that made that silly challenge against Wales to give away the penalty, which resulted in the equalizer, and he looked iffy in the second match as well. I give credit to Berhalter for, and I use the root word of his job title intentionally, managing this team very well. He sets us up quite well tactically, plays to our strengths, and he obviously puts this team, the players, in the right frame of mind to go out and play without fear, which again is not a given. That is a real testament to the character and the mentality that this team has. This is a young team and we've taken it to England. It's crazy. I mean, that match obviously ended level, but as I said in a previous video, I think that we edged the second half and we hit the crossbar, and so this team has really performed very well. My boy Brendan Aronson came on yet again, the New Jersey boy, and showed his class, composure, and aptitude to play at this level. And Pulisic, the man right behind me, was able to get himself on the score sheet, which I think is deserving for having a very good tournament thus far. He's been probably our best attacking player, as you would expect. And one interesting thing that crossed my mind since the tournament has started is why Pulisic isn't captain of the U.S., as I believe he's captained us in the past. And I realize it's probably because he doesn't want to be. And that's okay. He's our star player regardless. We all knew the coverage that he was going to get as our star player. Fox, and just the United States in general, they love a superstar and they want to put names up in headlights and posters and sell jerseys and all of that. And he still is our star player. And I'm speculating here, but I think what I'm getting at is I think that the captaincy was there for him if he wanted it. But I think he said, I'm okay without it. And it just allows me to go out and play my natural game without the extra pressure of being branded Captain America. But once again, credit to Tyler Adams for coping with the pressure, stepping into that role, and really being a leader for this team. And it was interesting too. They said, I believe during the England match or in the build up to it, was being captain of the United States national team a dream of his. And he gave a very honest response saying, well, no, not really. It wasn't something that I had dreamt of, but I've always strived to be someone that others look up to. So I think that was a very honest and non-cookie cutter response from Adams, who's had a great World Cup so far. So yeah, that's about it. Those are my thoughts on today's match. Credit again, I just want to underline one more time the mentality that this young group has shown. Uh, we deserve to advance. I was joking that the United States, this team, based on performances, probably should have registered a victory already to this point prior to today's match. Um, but hey, we like to make things interesting, and we set a platform for a win and you're in, and we did just that. So you have to hand it to the U.S. for taking care of business. But I was joking that England um, do things the boring way, and there was an England fan watching her match. I was joking that who wants to watch a match and just hope that you don't lose by 4 goals or more. So anyway, credit to the U.S. for getting the job done. Looking ahead to the Netherlands match, we're going to have to play close to a perfect match against the Dutchmen, the Flying Orangemen, in order to emerge victorious, because I think they're a very good team. Um, but I think a performance on par with the one that we gave England could be enough. I think we played extremely well. We hit the crossbar, and with other better finishing otherwise, we could have had another goal or two on a luckier day. So I think we got to bring that energy. I'm not afraid of it. I think other teams would be afraid to play us, which is not to say that we're the favorite by any means, but I think, as I said previously, we have entered matches as favorites and as underdogs, and we've basically approached them the same way. I was really expecting us to absorb pressure against England in a tactical sense and play on the counter, but we didn't do that. We took it to them, and it didn't backfire. So I think just about any team in the world, barring maybe Brazil, Spain, um, will look at the United States and say, hey, this is a good team. They may not have global superstars and they may not have all the experience, but we don't relish playing them. So I think that's a great credit to, again, shout out to Berhalter once again for really doing very well with this United States team, who we coming into the tournament we weren't really sure how much pure talent we had in the squad, but obviously doing very well. So more of the same, please, U.S. Let's go from Beaty's Beat.